The July 2021 channeled message for our fashion show red carpet event, Wishes Do Come True. God begins by saying, this month's message is one of reassurance when it comes to our dreams. We will be gifted with our wishes come true based on the hard work put in and the patience in your heart. Stay calm and know that your breakthrough is near. I know it's been tough and a long journey, says God, but we are nearing the finish line. Trust in God's guidance when it comes to His plan. He knows best. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be at the perfect timing. Your destiny is finally aligning. Everything is falling into place as it should. Remember, it's easy to have a positive mental attitude when life goes your way. But when you're able to maintain that beautiful smile, even when life doesn't go your way or as you expected, you are guaranteed to have a beautiful life. So trust in your journey, have faith, and be compassionate towards yourself. Your dreams are slowly but surely coming true. Love, Christie. Hello, my soul family. Welcome to this month's red carpet fashion show event. Today we are in July 2021. My name is Christie Ramirez and I'm your soul coach. So this is a special event provided by my spiritual counseling TV network where we get together every month to talk about the spiritual energies and the soul journey and where we're at, what we need to focus on, and God gives us His guidance as to what path to take. So for this month of July, the theme that I am feeling is wishes do come true. Because this is what it's about. You know, last month, we had the message of heavenly sent. Heavenly sent guidance, revelations, gifts, and resources that's going to get us to our dream come true. And now this month, I'm feeling that it's about this inner knowingness and trusting in these miracles. Hence, wishes do come true, dreams do come true. And this is what God is wanting to tell us today. Today I'm going to do things a little different. You know, I usually always have a preset written message from above, a channeled message with the cake design. But this month, I'm being guided to do it in the reversal order. So we're going to talk about the energies first. And then in my newsletter, when you sign up for free, in my monthly newsletter, I write an extra article on today's show, and I will be attaching also the heavenly message. And of course, you can see the picture here that I will attach of my cake design for July. So let's get started, because I know that in July, it's very much about independence, okay? And for the fashion shoot that I did for the French campaign, the theme that I came up with was spiritual liberation. And this is hand in hand, because when we're living our dream and living our wishes come true in the physical realm, we are liberated spiritually, right? It's the equivalent of reaching enlightenment through the spiritual journey and the process of evolution, hence ascension, and what we've been speaking about. What God has been guiding the light workers who have made it this far with me, watching this show today. You are in God's mountain, and God's mountain is secluded, can feel isolated, but the secret is not to feel lonely, because in that aloneness is actually where we find more of God, more of our angels, and more of these deep insights that we need for the mission work, the light work that is sacred, and it can only be done in a sacred place. And hence why many light workers are kind of stripped out from the world, the 3D realm, and put into this box, or just sacred space is what we're going to call it today. Even Jesus was put in this temple. And you know, we've been speaking about, I've been learning about in my own night study, and something that I teach more extensively in my spiritual gatherings every month, which is the Buddha Talk, how Mother Mary came to be Mother Mary. And I feel like by us learning about her life right now a little bit is going to help us understand the energy. Alright, so before we get deeper into this, I do want to really take a sip of my coffee. Enjoy our coffee time together today. Very nice. So let's talk about then Mother Mary's energy. Mother Mary was chosen by God to give birth to Jesus, the Son of God. Why was she chosen? It wasn't because she was that much different than other women, but she did the work and she was willing to be secluded. Okay, and at the time, she didn't really have a choice in childhood, right? Because in childhood, it was her parents who got the guidance as to how to protect Mother Mary and how to keep her sacred until she reached her childbirth years, which is 14 and above. And her father had already gotten this revelation from Archangel Gabriel that she was eventually going to give birth to the Son of God, to the Messiah. And he was the chosen one, right? He came to save the people, the world, from this crisis, from the dark ages. And so the father and the mother already knew where they needed to be, where they needed to kind of hide and protect Mother Mary. And Mother Mary never opposed. And when Mother Mary herself got the revelation, she got the message from Archangel Gabriel that she was going to give birth to Jesus, she never said no. But she said yes very willingly, because at the end of the day, it was still a free will choice. And that's how God and our angels work with us, especially the archangels, which are direct messengers from God. And that's why we're really learning a lot in our angel study class in my School of Light. There's a 3-part curriculum, and I just started the 3rd part this week as well. And we're going to finish it all this year. And it's going to help you to understand deeper how to communicate with your angels, how to make them a part of your life, and then understand the bigger picture about your purpose here on earth. And so Mother Mary willingly received the gift from God, and she gave birth to God, to Jesus, willingly. And then her whole life was dedicated to this project of hers, which was Jesus, right? She gave birth to a son. And that's how God works with us. Remember, this is not always a literal sense. It doesn't have to be a child, but it's giving birth to a project, a mission, even a business, right? Because some businesses can be mission work. Anything that God has given you as your purpose, your soul contract, your dharma here on earth. And it is going to be a wish come true, because everything else is going to flow from that mission. She lived a wonderful life, and she was happy with Jesus because he was the most beloved, loving son ever to her. And it was the best thing that she could have ever given birth to, in the literal sense, in her life. And at the same time, when Jesus was stripped from her life, you know, when he was crucified and he was condemned to death, that was also one of the most painful moments, ironically, of her life as well. So he was like the best and worst thing that happened to her in the holy sense, right? Because the grievance of losing her only son, who was the Messiah, we can't just comprehend the amount of pain that Mother Mary must have gone through. And that's the detachment which she had to learn when it comes to mission work, because she understood the bigger picture. And even Jesus, her son, helped her to understand this while he was alive. And there's many examples of this in the Bible, such as when Jesus had to choose the mission work, which was his miracle healing, being with the people, preaching, over being with her mother, because what mother doesn't want to be with her son almost 24/7, right? But as he was growing older into his adult years, he had to make it clear that he had to prioritize his mission versus his mother. Not that he loved her any less, but he needed to balance out his time, because he only had so much time, and he knew this deep down in his heart, right? And Mother Mary eventually came to understand this notion, and she didn't take it personally. And she learned the hard way how to detach from her son, because she could love him, but she could also let him be and accept that he was meant for something greater than just being a family son and being like in the home all the time, right? And this is the grievance that she had to go through, but it eventually freed her at the same time. So it's like the spiritual liberation. And that's how we are to be as well with this physical world. And that's the test of this July. Very interesting how this all came together, because, you know, with anything that you have in life, our mission work is gonna obviously reap us abundance in this life. It's gonna give us maybe even wealth, recognition, power, influence, whatever it might be. But we need to be detached when we receive it. And this could also be success, right? And this is the lesson that we're learning today from Mother Mary. We have to accept and detach that eventually we have to be willing to let everything go when our time is up, right? And this is like the basic core teaching of Buddhism and enlightenment, right? And that's what we're being asked to master this month. Wishes will come true, but be willing to let it go when it's time. And God is not saying that it's going to be right away, but He is saying to not get overly attached to the physical realm. Still have this connection with the spiritual realm, and be willing to just balance it out back and forth. And that's how we create a life of harmony and a life of equal balance between being on earth and being in heaven, hence the heaven on earth. Because remember, as light workers, we are the bridge between heaven and earth, and it wouldn't do any good to stay either in the 5D or even just in the physical, in the 3D. We need to be in both, in and out. But obviously, we can't be in both at the same time, right? So it's about balancing it out. And that's what I feel like is the main guidance for today. And now I do want to get extra guidance. Today we are going to bring an oracle reading. I know that last times, the few past episodes, we didn't, because we had that extensive letter. But I'm going to save the letter for the people who are signed up to my weekly newsletter. So my weekly and monthly newsletter. So sign up to my free mailing list, absolutely free on my website, ChristieRamirez.com. And I always send them every month. And when you become a member of my Spiritual Counseling TV network, you can also take a look at all the previous newsletters in PDF format. So there's a separate page that I created for all the newsletters that I've done since last August. So there's a lot. And we began the love show and the fashion show this January. So we get all extra messages there. I love to write on my free time, and this is something that gets extra channeled. Alright, so let's get started with going a little deeper with a nice reading today. Alright, so before we get started, I actually want to mention my new coat. I hope you really like it. And you know, these shows, the fashion red carpet event, are based on Paris, France, because I'm very inspired by fashion design. And I know that my wardrobe every month also has an extra message, and I just got it right now. This is again about us being these warriors of light in cloaks, of white clothes, encloaked, right? So instead of walking around with like a black cloak, like let's say in the Harry Potter movies, right? We are these warriors of light, walking around with these white cloaks. It's a very powerful message. So I'm very I feel a very deep connection now with this coat, and it's going to be very special for me from now on. And trust me, that was very expensive, but it was worth it, because this is how we protect ourselves, by always encloaking ourselves in white light, and knowing that we are only surrounded by white light wherever we go, because we are the light. And we are to remember this as warriors of light. This is part of our mission. We are all incarnated here on earth to be these walking lights. We can light up a room by our single presence. Our presence heals all. And this is something to be acknowledged, and know that you hold powerful influence in your hands with every word you speak, with every gesture, with every smile. And we're to make the most of this for the highest good, because we have influence. And this is what God is wanting to remind us. Use it for good, any chance that you have. And of course, always walk in bravery and be bold, because guess what? We are always surrounded by light, so there's nothing to be afraid of. This is about choosing love over fear. It's what A Course in Miracles teaches us. Hence Jesus' teachings. Jesus is very present with us this week, this month. And he was the miracle worker, the miracle healer. He was always wearing like white, right? Like a white cloak, because it represents purification. And we are being purified worldwide as well this month to prepare us for these wishes to come true. And you know, the synchronicity behind this is that it's been very, very rainy and stormy where I live. And this is, I always take it as a symbolism because it's been like non-stop for like over a week. This is the purification that's happening. And I know that this rain is not all worldwide, but it's a symbolic meaning behind the rain. Rain is very sacred, believe it or not, because it's purification. It's like a purification ritual. And these rites of initiation that we're all being thrown at, so that we can immerse on the other side, basically like baptized, right? Kind of like how Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist in the water. And I don't know if any of you have been baptized as adults as well in the water. It's the most healing thing ever. And it's kind of like this rite of initiation. It's like you're being now sent through this portal of like your true mission. It's very powerful. And so that's kind of how I want to close that. And now let's begin. I'm bringing in a new deck today to roll the Nuit. And I know it's not night right now, but we want to go deeper into the subconscious, kind of like what the moon card represents, but what's going on in the deep spiritual realms, because this is what this show's about. We talk about the spiritual journey, where we're at collectively, and also how it mirrors individually. But also, you know, we learned spiritual terms that maybe you might be new to. Okay, so any new terms that come up, I will always explain. I bring a lot of education into this show, and it's a very powerful show. So I hope that you enjoy it once again. All right, and make sure that you also check out the weekly poetry class at My School of Light. We go deeper even into the journey with powerful poems from ancient writers, ancient poets. So let's get some guidance for this month of July. Right away, we got the Page of Wands. This is definitely about courage. Let me pick up the card. Alright everyone, so the card that showed up is the Page of Wands. Beautiful card because this is a woman. Kind of looks like a vampire with her eyes, like in the movie Twilight. And she's ethereally there. It's like in spirit. But this is this courage that we all need to embrace to become this light, right? She looks like a warrior of light. And she's very beautiful as well. And then we got the Eight of Cups in reverse. This I'm feeling is kind of like showing your true colors, because this kind of card reminds me a little bit of Cinderella. It was in the reverse and she's leaving at midnight, right? Kind of from the ball. And in reality, she's just this simple woman. And I feel like we need to remove the mask. Maybe stop hiding, right? Because she's in kind of dark clothing, wardrobe. And many people will hide their light out of fear as well. There's also the other side, right? You know how there's always wolf in sheep's clothing, when it's the dark that hides and masks themselves as the false light. But then there's also those light people that will seclude themselves or hide their light because they're afraid of the darkness in the world. And we are being given courage that nothing's gonna happen because we have the whole white light team on our side, the white light council. So this is the Four of Cups. This is about surrender and letting go of grievance and knowing that you can step out into the world. She has actually also a necklace with a cross on it, which is the crucifixion of God, of Christ. And she's surrendering to this. And interesting that I left a card here, the Six of Cups. Which is, look at this, she's out in the dark. And there is a light shining on top of a lamp. A lantern, right? It's kind of like a woman shouldn't walk out in the streets at night, right? But yet she's there and dressed in black, kind of like she's grieving something, but she's surrendering to this because you realize that the actual end destination is bliss. So weird message here, but I feel like there might be deeper insights if we look into the booklet, because this tarot is a little bit different. Let's look at the Six and Four of Cups. And I came up across the Hermit, and this is about, you know, seeking in the light of solitude. So again, being okay with being where you're at on the journey, even if it means being alone, because this is where we find God, right? In the high temple, kind of like a monk. How do you think they reach this Zen state? By spending hours and hours meditating away from the crowd, away from the rural cities. And they're up in the mountains doing their meditations, their spiritual light work. And that's how they have all the answers. Because they're in this aloneness. They're away from all the chaos of the physical realm, which can be directly tied in with more of like the devil energy, right? Because there's more corruption, obviously, in the physical realm. And we need to be able to see the light up there and see clearly and get the revelation so that we can see clearly when we're back down on earth amidst all the kind of energies, right? The light and the dark. Because this is kind of what I'm feeling here. You know, this woman has like a little cloud of white light over her crown chakra. She's in the dark, but she's seeing the light because she is the light. You understand? So she lights up the darkness in the world. And that's what us powerful light workers are for, right? So this is about kind of just letting go to where God is guiding you to go and show up there in pure surrender, right? So let us look up the Six of Cups. Nostalgia lane. Memories are here again. I miss my past, my childhood, my loved ones. And this is also what can happen, you know, when you're on the spiritual journey. When you move on the spiritual journey, this is what I'm getting. You know, we've reached already, we're building up every month, right? And we're on God's mountain. We're on the high lane of ascension. And it's lonely up there because not everybody made it up there. And this is the nostalgia. You're missing the people that you once had in your life, but have been stripped away because they're not at your level. And if you're around that crowd, remember that who you spend your time with is gonna dictate who you become. And if we're trying to develop spiritual gifts and continue to ascend on the journey, a lot of the journey has to be done alone, untainted by any other external energy, whether it be intentional or not, because most of the time it's not. But it's just for higher purposes, right? Like when you're creating something, you know, that's why many artists, very intellectual and gifted artists, were always alone. Take a look at Shakespeare. Take a look at, you know, artists like painters like Botticelli, Leonardo da Vinci, fashion designers. Most of them spend a lot of time in their castle alone or in their mansion or whatever, right? Because they were always getting new ideas, new inspirations, and new insights, revelations, and they needed to be a lot in silence more than anything. And in order to reach pure silence, you obviously need to be in solitude, because if you're around people, there's always going to be chatter and noise. And especially if we're light workers, we're sensitive beings, so we can feel other people's energy. And many of the times this is not conducive to spiritual growth or to what we're trying to do on our mission, right? Because if you're trying to help from a place that you don't have to give, or you're trying to do multiple things at once, it's not going to be high quality. So we're being asked to focus on one thing at a time. And this is what's kind of like going on parallel. You know, we want to do God's work, but we're also missing the fun of it, the people around, because we feel alone. And you know, it's very interesting as well, because many people worldwide in countries like such as one country specifically, they're on lockdown again. And that's kind of like symbolism. We all know what that feels like, right? Many of the times we don't have control over this, and we're never to question God's guidance, you know, why we're being locked away from people or being guided to be secluded for a while. But it's only to kind of get those ideas and finish the work, so that we go out with the purpose and not just mindlessly, right? Because when you're already on the mission and on the high lane of light work, and you're like a leader in the light worker world, then everything you do is for God. No longer is it just for you. So you're always doing a job. And so we need to be grateful for this, but we also need to be conscious of this, not let ourselves slip and get distracted. So this is about, again, focus. But this is what's happening emotionally, because we all still have emotions, right? We're still human at the end of the day. So, and it's interesting as well, because, you know, even family members might not understand 100%. And if you don't have this emotional support, someone that you can talk to, it's gonna feel lonely. It's just inevitable, right? But God is here to remind us that we can always have conversations with God. And this is what I'm here for as a soul coach, and many others around the world, is so that we can get together to have these deep spiritual conversations that maybe people in your life might not understand or even know about. And this is where we get together as a soul tribe and enjoying this beautiful revelation. Okay, so it says, my carefree youth has vanished in the alleys of time, because now this is also about us growing up, needing to be more spiritually mature, letting go of past youth, but still being youthful in this adulthood of responsibility for the mission, right? I wish I could go back to my lost happiness, but I believe that this past happiness was incomplete, right? Because now it's impossible, obviously, to go back into the past. It is my soul that I will lose if I only live in the past, because there's something greater in the now and eventually in the future. I have to find bliss in the present time also. This is the main message for today. My nostalgia could become my strength. Looking behind must help me keep me moving forward. I have to take good care of my inner child so that she can experiment joy again. This is just on point right now. And look, there is a light above my head, which I hope will guide me to a bright future. We are always being guided, so there's nothing to fear. And remember that this darkness can also be within, like any depression that people are dealing with, or any fears. It's the same for you. Don't stay too long in nostalgia lane. Go back to your real life and to the gifts that it offers. So this is healing inner child, and we're all kind of completing as well this month. And we do this by letting go, right? So let's get some extra messages. Okay, everyone, so let's ask a little bit more deeper about what we can do this month to continue to rise on the journey. Wow, we got the Ace of Cups, and this is a beautiful image of this beautiful woman, and there's a lot of red roses, so this is about passion. She has pink roses on her neck, this innocent child that has been purified. Kind of looks like a September kind of energy to me. So maybe this is building up to September, like this healing maybe might be in completion by September. So interesting message, right? Let's take a look at the Ace of Cups. This is also feeling emotionally fulfilled. So we filled our cup back up by feeling beautiful. And you know what? The archangel that we studied this week was actually Archangel Jophiel. And Archangel Jophiel is the angel of beauty, confidence, and beautiful light and self-love She really helps us to reach this state of positivity as well, keeping our thoughts pure and positive. And I feel like this is kind of reminds me of Archangel Jophiel. So call on her, and if you want to learn more about her, definitely join my angel study class at my School of Light. So you can always join and become a member at christieramirez.com/school. So let us look up the Ace of Cups today. Listen, your heart is speaking. So again, what is it that your heart truly desires? And go after it. You know, we got the Justice card in reverse. This might be lack of balance here, and there's a lot of red and passion. Maybe there's not enough passion in our life. We will look that one up. But it says, I represent the beginning of love and new happiness. Romance may also be coming to you. And how appropriate, because I see the Two of Cups, which is the twin card, in the reverse, and the Knight of Pentacles, and Seven of Swords in reverse. So letting go of past deceptions, letting go of suspicions, of paranoia, that's what I'm getting, fears basically. Four of Pentacles, making this woman be all alone in the moonlight, and she's just in her own fears, all in her head, right? And she's just all alone. That's what she gets for being in fear, because she won't let anybody in. And then with this Knight of Pentacles, it's telling us to take charge of our life by going after our passions. The root chakra here is coming up strong. It's going to help us to stay grounded on earth again, right? I kind of mentioned this in the love show for July, so make sure that you watch it. And it's about just walking around with our scars, because they've made us wiser and stronger. She has a huge scar on her left eye. And again, left side is all about our femininity, our feminine side, our intuition. We've been scarred in the past, so we are wise now. And she's holding on to this white flag firmly and strongly, shining her light in the world, kind of like these warriors of light that we are. And interesting that these two twins are in front of a cross, a crucifixion. But it's in the reverse. Stop crucifying yourself. Stop torturing yourself that you don't deserve love. You know, remove the thorns from the roses and seek your justice. Because this is Justice card is also about knowing your worth, that you are worthy of living a good life. You are worthy of experiencing justice if you've ever had unfair life events in your life, or you're not where you want to be in life, or you don't have your crown, your throne, but you are worthy of this. And what's needing to happen to get there is to believe that you can deserve it. Self-love is a lot here. Self-love and emotional fulfillment with self, right? Let's continue to read here. Trust your heart to lead the way. And this woman is leading the way with her sword, very, very courageously, very empowered. I'm feeling an empowered woman here, and just very determined, a go-getter there. And she is carrying, of course, the balance scale. There's balance needed to get here, right? And this is in inner balance, maybe between the yin and the yang. I'm feeling the inner masculine and inner divine feminine. Unconditional love is the essence of everything, what Jesus teaches us. Maybe this is what's needed, of course, in miracles, because the cross representing Jesus is in reverse. And look at this, they're in pure white like myself. So maybe it's just more purification as well that's taking place. Experiment the flow of your emotions with no fear. Stop running away from your emotions and let them be. Let your feelings show as well. Let your scars from past traumas be seen, because they will inspire others. Your story will inspire others. But if you hide it and deny it, or just grieve it like a old widow here on your own, nobody's gonna know the story and nobody will be inspired. So actually it would have been for nothing. You see, so this is why traumas happen actually, is so that you can help others and inspire people as to how you grew out of that, how you came out of that darkness and shined your light. Let the love that fills your heart shine through. Let your light shine bright. Be the light. Bring peace and forgiveness in all your relationships. It is also a good time to start new projects. You can be sure of your creative potential. Offer yourself to others and to life and to love. Remember my message, the more you give, the more you receive. So this is about inner feelings, emotional and spiritual fulfillment. So it's not only about emotional fulfillment, but this is the spiritual liberation that we're all experiencing in July, bringing us to spiritual fulfillment, which is the deepest of them all. Love, creativity, fertility, birth of new projects. Powerful, powerful card. And let's look up the Justice card. The glow of fairness. And it was in the reverse, so it's kind of like a guidance for us to work on. In any decision, the fairness and equity are to be looked for. With my scale, I make my judgment. With my sword, I render my verdict. My mind is clear and square. I'm here to remind you that what goes around comes around. So whatever you've experienced in the past, know that justice will always prevail. That's karma for you, right? That's wheel of karma. And it's also our destiny coming for us. Your life decisions follow you. So you have to learn the lessons from your past mistakes. I only believe in truth and justice. I want you to live according to them. Remember this as your basic rule and motto for life. Always be in truth and justice, in your integrity. You are a walking representation of God. Always remember this. Don't let your temper get in the way. I'm also feeling very fiery energy here. Any anger or any frustrations, don't get mad at God or with yourself, or especially with others. Learn to temper this, because again, we are walking representations of God, love, and peace, right? The light is always in its wonderful, beautiful grace. Remain objective and fair. Dishonesty is to be avoided at any cost, as of course, obviously. Take responsibility for your actions. The right decisions based on truth and sincerity are to be made. And the truth of the matter is the only thing to be interested in. And this is what we're also receiving. More truths, revelations about how to make our dreams come true. And whatever the case may be, justice will win. So this is about fairness, objectivity, seeing things also from a clear, fair standpoint. So not being too quick to judge, right? Because remember, we are not the judges, only God is. Fair judgment, searching for truth. The truth eventually will be revealed. Be sure of that, because God will reveal it to you. Sincerity of the heart and mind. So remember that with anything that you begin, always be truthful and honest. And I do want to get just one final message to close today's fashion show. And I will be continuing with the weekly poetry class. We usually get more messages there based on today's theme. And as a reminder, make sure that you sign up to my free mailing list to receive the extra blog article in the monthly newsletters. All right, and we got the Chariot. So this is about taking action towards that which we desire. 9 and 10 of Wands in reverse. These are both very fiery cards. This is what I'm feeling. Completing cycles that need to be finished. Maybe also cutting of cords that are not serving you, that are keeping you in the dark, in fear, in unnecessary contemplation, and just letting the past burn away, as well as any inner despair. Interesting that I said that, right? Inner despair with self, maybe with lying, the darkness that we're all experiencing, and letting that burn away and get transmuted into the rising of the phoenix, which is passion, the rebirth, the reawakening that I explained in my Lightwork University presentations. You know, I was actually rewatching those videos yesterday night, and it really gave me deeper insight, specifically the reawakening. I watched it, and then tonight I'm gonna watch the monthly guidance that I said at the beginning of the year, which was in the rebirth presentation that I did, that you can always purchase on my website. And I went month by month guidance. So you go to christieramirez.com/lightworkuniversity to take a look at those videos, because they're coming back to help us, those guidance that we got in those events. And let me look up the 10 of Wands. I'm curious here. releasing heavy burdens and even responsibilities, needing to delegate strong pressure. Many of us light workers might feel under pressure, feeling like this sad princess. Look at this. I wanted the castle, the luxury life, and the princess dress. This is the burning out of the soul. Don't let yourself burn out. I've got them now, but I discovered the heavy responsibilities that come with them, and they're quite a burden to me. It's like my dress is on fire. I'm burning out. Maybe the same kind of flames are blazing you. Too much work, too much task, and too weak shoulders. I want my carefreeness back. And this is how we all feel when we're children, when we have no responsibilities, when we're unawakened to our mission, right? Carefree, because there's nothing really to be responsible about. But that's not really true living, right? Fire is a serious warning that the pressure is getting too strong. So this is about seeking the balance within the pressure, because that's never going to go away. Outshining all the wonders gleaned along the way. It is urgent for you and for me that we take some rest and that we reorganize our lives so that we can better enjoy the fruits of our efforts. So again, this is this balance. Let's take a look at the 9 of Wands, which is still strong for the last round, the completion of cycles. So there's something that we need to complete before we take some rest time, some break. Interesting that the holidays are around the corner, and I feel like that would be a great time to take some vacation and just for now keep taking action and move along with the journey. We'll definitely look up that one. Stay on the spiritual mission, number 7 card. The 9 of Wands tells us still strong for the last round. The battle was hard, and you, like me, may have some wounds and bruises. We fought with great courage and strength, but the bad news is that the battle isn't over yet. This is kind of a collective message I'm feeling as well. You know, we've been through a lot in the year 2020, and I know that we're just about to kind of come out of that. It's like the beginning remnants of this new life, but the battle's not over yet spiritually. So our enemies are still standing, waiting for the last round. There will have to be one more challenge before we can rest, and I'm feeling like this rest again is coming along in next year, 2022, which is the metamorphosis, the true transformation. Now the good news is that we can manage it all. Make the most of this time. We have all the fighting skills that are necessary to success. We will win in the end, that is for sure. So giving up, we mustn't. We're still in the darkness of night, but very soon a new dawn will rise, and I've been channeling this a lot in my spirituality retreats. Let's hold our heads high, grab a triumphant wand, and go back to the battlefield. So this is about resilience, spiritual strength, faith that's going to keep us going, and enjoy, enduring, having the stamina to continue to go on the journey. Obstacles, but success in the end. So overcoming these challenges. And the Chariot card with our final message is our message of hope. We will be able to take this new action towards this new life. I do want to look it up. The Chariot, the power, by the power of my will, my free will. Again, what we began today. Mother Mary had the choice to say yes or no to Archangel Gabriel, to God. And she said yes. So what's it going to be for you? It's a choice whether you want to be a light worker or not. Even A Course in Miracles explains it. We are all chosen on the mission. But it's only those who choose to say yes that eventually become the real chosen ones, right? It is not the magic that makes my carpet fly. This is Aladdin kind of vibe here. It is the strength of my willpower. The magic is in our head. My mind is clear, and I am guided by the moonlight. This is how our spiritual gifts develop as well. By our inner perseverance and inner knowing that we believe in these miracles. I know where I'm going, and I know what my goals are. I won't stop till I reach them. I feel in control of all the elements around me. I am nothing but calm and sure of myself. Look into my eyes, and you will see my determination. It will reinforce yours. Fly away from the places that you feel like you don't belong to anymore. And be the master of your chessboard. This is all the strategy that we're being guided with to make the mission work and manifest. You need to be focused, disciplined, full of confidence. Move wisely, your chessmen. Make carpets fly. Create miracles like Jesus did. Set goals for yourself and work hard to reach them, and then surpass those goals. I know that you will win in the end. So this is about willpower, determination, focus, discipline, faith, and self-control on the journey amidst the process. Temperance, patience. Can't overemphasize that enough. So it's very interesting that I flipped around the deck, and underneath it was the Lovers card. And this deck has a very, very interesting depiction of these lovers. It's like they're immensely in love. She's completely mesmerized by his charm here. He's the one taking the action. He's the one reaching to kiss her and pulling her in. He also has like this kind of vampire kind of vibe, but he genuinely has like an angelic smile as well, ironically, because she's just like him. She kind of looks vampirish as well, you know. And of course this kind of reminds me of the movie Twilight. And she has a crown on her head, kind of like Jesus had the crown of thorns on her head. She might be actually torturing herself as well, kind of resisting this love. And he's telling her, you can surrender to me. That's a wonderful message, because that's kind of what God is also telling us. Surrender to me because I got you. Wonderful message. The number 6 card, which is about harmony. Let's kind of look it up. I'm interested. Love is always a choice. So this is the free will as well that we also get when it comes to love. Special bond, attractiveness, soulmate, choices, and being true to oneself. So definitely watch the love show for July. It says, look at us. The bond that we have is eternal. And this is also how our bond with God's mission is as light workers. Our love is altogether emotional, spiritual, and sexual. Remember that sexual energy is transmuted into creative energy. It is the deepest love ever. And this looks kind of like tantric to me. Yet it's a love that we fought for. Fight for what's worth fighting for, right? Choices had to be made, and it is your turn now to choose love and to fight for love. You have, as we had, to be clear about your own values and to stand up for them. No love is ever possible if you're not true to yourself first, right? If you're facing a dilemma, honesty is the only way to get you through the shadows of doubt. For the decision that you'll make is to be essential at this point in your life. Never forget, there are only 2 paths in life. One is wrong and the other one is love. And that's the right choice to go towards. That's how we're going to conclude today's fashion show red carpet event for July of 2021. My name is Christie Ramirez and I'm your soul coach. I'm also the motivational speaker, psychologist, and I have a master's in marriage and family therapy. If you want more deeper guidance on a one-on-one level, a personal soul coaching session, book a session with me. I take individuals, children, couples therapy, family therapy, all of it. Go to christieramirez.com/booking. My open spaces will be available in fall season, which is just around the corner, next month in August. So you can start booking right now. Have an amazing and beautiful month, everyone. I will see you all next time. Namaste.